Welcome back to Reds Fusion LFC. Today we dive into a massive story shaking up the Liverpool camp. Curtis Jones has reportedly made his stance crystal clear amid growing tension between new boss Arne Slot and superstar Mo Salah, and the dressing room reactions are nothing short of explosive. From behind-the-scenes disagreements to shocking new details about what sparked Salah's rage. This is one update every Liverpool fan needs to hear. Stick around, this one's big. Curtis Jones makes Liverpool dressing room feelings on Arne Slot clear before more. Mohamed Salah talks Curtis Jones and Dominic. Szoboszlai spoke after Liverpool won 1-0 at Inter in the Champions League. The rift between Mohamed Salah and Arne Slot had threatened to tear Liverpool apart. But any suggestion of disharmony among the remainder of the squad was emphatically banished at San Siro on Tuesday night. With Mohamed Salah left back on Merseyside, the Reds responded to a tough week with a memorable 1-0 Champions League win at Inter to ease the pressure on their head coach and demonstrate further signs of steadying a tortuous campaign. The Egyptian might not, at least for now, be backing the decisions of Slot. But the same cannot be said of his teammates. Are we behind the manager? We always are. We always are, said Curtis Jones, one of several impressive Liverpool performers in Italy. He is human at the end of the day. If we get beat in games, it affects him. It affects us all, to the same way it affects fans. He is a positive man. He always makes a change. The style of play has changed a bit. He is as hungry as ever, exactly the same with us. He is there with us, and we are there with him as well. Recent events have shown change isn't always painless. Following the explosive outburst from Salah after failing to appear in the 3-2-3 Premier League draw at Leeds United on Saturday, having been benched for the third game in a row, the 33-year-old who suggested he had no relationship with Slot and had been thrown under the bus by the club and made a scapegoat for the Reds' poor form this season was subsequently left out of the trip to Milan, with question marks over whether he will play again for the champions. More talks are expected between Slot and Salah this week, ahead of the visit of Brighton on Saturday, with the winger then joining up with his national team for the Africa Cup of Nations. But for Liverpool's squad, results and not individual grievances are shaping the spirit in the dressing room. If you go and win a game, it's always the best feeling, said Jones. We have just won an important game against a great team. The mood is high. If we give away points against teams we should beat, then we will always be upset. We will always question why. We went back, had a look at the game against Leeds, made a change and come out here and won. And when asked if Salah's comments had changed the atmosphere in the dressing room, the response from Jones was as unequivocal as it was blunt. No, said the midfielder. Mo is his own man. I can't really speak on another man in his business. Everyone knows how much of a legend that Mo is. I can't really speak on it. The situation that he has got, it is not for me to say. Dominic Szoboszlai, who scored Liverpool's late penalty winner at San Siro, agrees. I'm very close with him, said the Hungary international. It's nothing to do with the players. It's him and his own choice with what he is doing with his own life and his own career. It's nothing to do with the players, I guess, so nothing to say about it. Would I like him to stay? It's not our decision as players. I love him as a human being, as a friend of mine. As a player, he has done so much for this club, it's going to be the club's and his decision. Notably, Liverpool have been unbeaten in all 4 games. Salah has now failed to appear with a win at Inter, beaten in 2 of the last 3 Champions League finals. The highlight? Arne Slot has quietly begun to address real Liverpool issue as post-game comment telling for all the talk of the leaky defense and misfiring attack. For many, the real issue for Liverpool of late has been a midfield that has struggled to properly support both it. Probably wasn't the first word many supporters would have used to describe Liverpool's season. But when Arne Slot assessed the striking inconsistency of his team's results as weird, there will have been more than a few fans and players nodding in approval, and nobody has found things quite as odd as Ibrahima Konate, the Frenchman's propensity for being on the crime scene, as Slot termed it, continued last weekend when a previously impressive performance was blighted by the needless concession of the penalty that allowed Leeds United back into a game in which the Reds were in complete control before, ultimately having to settle for a roller-coaster 3-3 draw. It followed a trend for Konate, who had similarly done well against PSV Eindhoven before a calamitous misjudgment helped the visitors on their way to inflicting a humiliating 4-1 Anfield defeat that Champions League reverse may well become regarded as the nadir of a campaign, in which there have been many, with Liverpool subsequently embarking on a 4-match unbeaten run that was extended by a memorable win at Inter on Tuesday to reignite their European endeavors. Konate's ill fortune appeared to have continued when having a goal contentiously ruled out in the first half. The centre-back, though, stuck to his task up against Inter duo Lautaro Martinez and Marcus Thuram, playing a key part in only a 6th clean sheet of the season for the Reds. And Slot was quick to praise the France international. The hardest thing for him and me is during large parts of the game. He has played very well when he's had a part in goals we have conceded, such as the PSV game, said the Reds boss. I'm so happy for him. We kept a clean sheet and he wasn't involved in anything that happened. He has been unlucky that if you make a mistake, it has more constantly gone in. That's a situation we have been in for months. With Konate out of contract at the end of the season and there being no sign yet of an agreement over a new Liverpool deal, it hasn't been difficult to draw the conclusion the 26-year-old is being affected by the speculation surrounding his next move. And if Konate is playing for his Reds future, he will need more of this display, even if lack of options mean his starting place isn't under any immediate threat. However, for all the talk of the leaky defense and misfiring attack, for many, the real issue for Liverpool of late has been a midfield that has struggled to properly support both a longtime advocate of 4-2-3-1, available personnel compelled Slot to revisit the diamond midfield that has been seen in some fashion on several occasions this season to mixed results, while there was no doubting its effectiveness as a defensive shield at San Siro. It was only after the introduction of Florian Wirtz from the bench for the final quarter for Alexander Isak and Liverpool loosely moving to a 5-man midfield that the Reds became a consistent creative threat from the engine room. It didn't help that ahead of them, Isak and striker partner Hugo Ekitike highlighted the fact it was only the second time they had started together by completing precisely no passes to each other. That is a relationship that still needs plenty of work, but in terms of making Liverpool more difficult to beat, the leaning towards solid operators at the expense of more expansive players such as, yes, Mohamed Salah has made the Reds more resilient and brought much-needed stability. Curtis Jones' latest Liverpool star to pick sides between Arne Slot and Mo Salah. Curtis Jones said that Liverpool's players have always been behind head coach Arne Slot after the midfielder impressed in the Reds' Champions League win over Inter Milan. Curtis Jones said that the Liverpool players have always been behind Arne Slot after the Reds recorded a much-needed win over Inter Milan. Tuesday, Liverpool went into the game off the back a disappointing draw with Leeds on Saturday. But the build-up to the clash at the San Siro was dominated by Mohamed Salah chat following the Egyptian's shocking comments in the Elland Road mixed zone. Salah was omitted from the squad to face Inter after claiming that he had been thrown under the bus by the club this season. While the 33-year-old also said that he no longer had a relationship with head coach Slot. Thankfully for Slot. Liverpool produced a good performance in the San Siro to beat last season's Champions League runner Jones was among Liverpool's best performers in Italy. And after the game, he stopped in the mixed zone for a rather less controversial chat with reporters than Salah's at Leeds. "We always have been. Always have." Jones said when asked whether the players were still behind Slot, addressing the tough period Slot has been through of late. Slot said, "He's human at the end of the day. Of course, if we get beat in games, obviously it will affect him. It will affect us all in the same way that it affects the fans. He's a positive man. He always makes a change. The style of play has changed a bit. He's as hungry as ever. He's the same as us. He's in it with us, so we're there with him as well." Understandably, Jones neglected to comment on the controversy surrounding Salah, his own man. Jones said, "I can't speak on another man and his business. Everyone knows how much of a legend he is, so I can't really speak on it. The situation is not for me to speak on." Jones added that the mood in Liverpool's locker room had been given a boost by the win in Milan, which was secured when Dominik Szoboszlai dispatched a penalty during the closing stages after Florian Wirtz was pulled to the ground in the Inter box. "If you go and win a game, it's always the best feeling," Jones said. "Winning an important game there against a great team, the mood is high."
Liverpool player who sent Mo Salah into rage revealed in explosive report. The apparent source of Mohamed Salah's rage is reportedly one of his Liverpool teammates. Florian Wirtz has been blamed as the man behind Mohamed Salah's rage, according to reports. The Egyptian great sent shockwaves through the footballing world when slamming Liverpool and manager Arne Slot after last Saturday's 3-3 draw against Leeds United. Salah, 33, accused the Reds of making him a scapegoat for their disappointing Premier League title defense and claimed his good relationship with Slot has perished. The winger was omitted from Liverpool's squad in their 1-0 Champions League win against Inter Milan on Tuesday as a result of his comments. Regarded as one of the role models and leaders of the Liverpool dressing room, a Bild report sensationally claims that Wirtz's status as the future of the team is the root of Salah's hostility. The report also branded the forward as the enemy inside the Reds dressing room. Salah's demotion to the bench in the last 3 league games, with the German starting in all of them, has reportedly not sat well with the competitive Egyptian. Liverpool are said to have long been aware that Salah possesses the biggest ego at the club, but given his extraordinary record of goals and assists, it was accepted. The report added, however, that should the winger's level of end product slip, the support he enjoys from the club will no longer exist. The report further suggests that his scathing comments towards the club shows a lack of care towards his teammates, illustrated by his silence amid the criticism Wirtz has been subjected to and what has been a slow start to his Anfield career. Despite it only being 8 months since Salah inked a new 2-year deal to extend his association with Liverpool until 2027, it remains to be seen whether the club icon has played his last game in red.